Have you ever gone to bed thinking a small bedtime snack couldn't possibly hurt you? I know that feeling, that sense of comfort, that quick bite to calm the hunger before sleep. But what if I told you that for your kidneys, that innocent habit could be the very thing silently driving your creatinine levels higher, swelling your ankles, and pushing you closer to dialysis without you even realizing it? This is not a distant possibility. It happens to millions of Americans every single night, in silence, in darkness, when the body should be resting, but the kidneys are forced to struggle. I'm Dr. Johnny, and tonight I want to give you a truth most people never hear from their doctor's office. The choices you make in the final minutes before you close your eyes could decide whether your kidneys heal or whether they continue to break down drop by drop. It's not about a massive diet overhaul or giving up everything you love. It's about understanding which snacks protect your kidneys and which ones secretly destroy them. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, you're going to discover 3 simple bedtime snacks that can shield your kidneys and keep your creatinine under control, and 3 common ones that can quietly push you toward disaster. And I promise, one of the safe snacks will surprise you more than anything you've heard before. You might look at a plain, unsalted rice cake and think, that's too boring to matter. But for someone with fragile kidneys, this little circle of crunch can be the difference between a peaceful night and waking up swollen, anxious, and one step closer to dialysis. I once had a patient named Margaret, a retired teacher who used to grab salty crackers before bed. Within months, her ankles ballooned every morning. When she switched to rice cakes, the swelling eased and her blood pressure finally calmed. It wasn't magic, it was the science of giving her kidneys a break. Each rice cake contains less than 10 milligrams of sodium. That tiny number means no hidden salt, no fluid overload, and no crushing pressure on delicate kidney filters. The phosphorus, barely 30 milligrams. Compare that to flavored chips that sneak in 150 to 200 milligrams, and you start to see why so many patients suffer bone pain, itching, and artery calcification. Even potassium stays under 20 milligrams per cake, so safe that your heartbeat won't be thrown off balance. And don't forget the carbs, 7 clean grams that provide steady energy without forcing your kidneys to wrestle with heavy protein waste. Now here's where people make the mistake choosing flavored or salted versions. One so-called harmless flavored rice cake can pack 200 milligrams of sodium, 20 times more, and undo all the benefits. The best way, especially here in the U.S., is to enjoy 2 plain cakes with a thin layer of unsalted almond butter or low-sodium cream cheese. Enough to calm hunger, satisfy cravings, and still let your kidneys rest while you sleep. So next time you feel that late-night craving, remember Margaret's story and remember the numbers, because your kidneys never stop counting. But knowing this one safe choice is only the beginning. Because the next snack on this list looks like a dessert, yet hides a protective power most people have never heard about. If rice cakes were about keeping things light and simple, this next snack feels almost like a dessert, but it works like medicine for your kidneys. Blueberries with unsweetened coconut yogurt. Imagine ending your night with a small bowl that tastes sweet, creamy, and comforting, yet silently shields your kidneys from scarring and inflammation. I remember Robert, a retired carpenter, who used to eat flavored yogurts every night thinking they were healthy. His creatinine kept creeping up. Once he switched to coconut yogurt with fresh blueberries. His doctor noticed his numbers finally stabilized. Here's why blueberries are packed with anthocyanins, powerful antioxidants that stop oxidative stress from turning into scar tissue inside the kidneys. Just 1 cup has around 85 calories, less than 120 milligrams of potassium, and only 10 milligrams of phosphorus. That's shockingly low compared to bananas or dried fruits that can overload weak kidneys with electrolytes. The 3.5 grams of fiber slow down blood sugar spikes, protecting delicate kidney vessels from damage. Now combine that with coconut yogurt, unsweetened, dairy-free, and kidney-friendly. No animal protein waste products like urea or creatinine, which regular milk-based yogurts dump into the blood. One serving carries less than 20 milligrams of phosphorus, under 50 milligrams of potassium, and barely 1 gram of sugar. Instead, you get medium-chain fats that give clean energy without stressing your kidneys, plus probiotics that heal the gut. And gut health is critical. Healthy bacteria reduce the very toxins that usually end up exhausting your kidneys. But here's the catch: most people pick the wrong version. Flavored coconut yogurts hide 15 to 20 grams of sugar per cup, completely flipping the script. And when they top it off with granola, honey, or nuts, suddenly the phosphorus, potassium, and sugar spike to dangerous levels. The safe, smart way is simple: half a cup of blueberries with half a cup of unsweetened coconut yogurt. Chill it, don't freeze it, so the probiotics stay alive. That small bowl before bed cools your digestion, reduces bloating, and gives your kidneys a break all night long. It may feel like you're indulging in dessert, but really, you're protecting your kidneys in silence. Still, just knowing this won't be enough, because the next snack on the list seems ordinary, almost too common, but it hides a powerful balance of sweetness and strength that can make or break your kidney health. Now let's talk about something far more familiar, something you might already have sitting in your kitchen: apple slices with low-sodium peanut butter. At first glance, it feels like an ordinary snack, the kind kids carry in their lunchboxes. But for aging kidneys, this pairing hides a delicate balance of sweetness, fiber, and healthy fats that can make the difference between stable creatinine levels and another silent rise overnight. I once met Linda, a grandmother from Ohio, who loved ending her nights with chocolate milk and cookies. Her lab tests kept showing elevated creatinine, and she felt constantly drained. When she swapped that habit for apple slices dipped lightly in low-sodium peanut butter, her energy returned, her blood pressure steadied, and her morning swelling began to fade. She didn't need a miracle, just a smarter swap. Here's why it works. A medium apple gives you about 80 calories, 22 grams of carbohydrates, and 3 grams of fiber. That fiber slows sugar release, preventing the sharp glucose spikes that quietly scar kidney blood vessels. Apples also bring antioxidants like quercetin and vitamin C, which lower inflammation and oxidative stress, the very triggers that push creatinine higher. Potassium sits around 200 milligrams per apple, which sounds high, but portion control makes it safe. Now add low-sodium peanut butter. Just 2 tablespoons carry 7 grams of plant-based protein, but less than 50 milligrams of sodium compared to the 150 milligrams or more in regular peanut butter. That's a huge win for your kidneys. The monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats protect your heart and arteries, which is vital because heart disease and kidney disease walk hand in hand. Plus, peanut butter brings vitamin E, magnesium, and trace iron, all of which support stable energy while reducing inflammation. The synergy here is powerful. The fiber from apples meets the protein and fat from peanuts, slowing digestion and keeping hunger away all night. That means no midnight overeating, no excess waste for the kidneys to filter. The safe method: half a medium apple with just a teaspoon of unsalted peanut butter. Thin slices, light dip, not slathered thick. This way, you satisfy cravings without flooding your body with potassium, phosphorus, or excess calories. Think about it: something as simple as an apple and a spoonful of peanut butter can keep your kidneys safe while you sleep. But only if you avoid the flavored, sugary versions that undo the balance. And yet, even with this knowledge, the story isn't complete. Because while these 3 safe snacks can protect you, there are 3 other popular late-night choices that act like silent poison, slowly pushing you closer to dialysis, and the first one may be hiding in your pantry right now. Salted or flavored potato chips: crispy, addictive, and for many of us, the comfort snack we reach for without thinking. But for your kidneys, they are more than just a guilty pleasure. They are silent poison sealed in a shiny bag. I remember Thomas, a 62-year-old former truck driver, who swore by his nightly bag of barbecue chips. It helps me relax, he said. But within a year, his swelling became unbearable. His blood pressure spiked dangerously, and dialysis came knocking sooner than anyone expected. The science explains why. Just one standard 2-ounce serving can load you with 130 to 400 milligrams of sodium. That's enough to trap water in your body, swell your ankles and face, and force your heart to pump harder against fragile kidney filters. And it doesn't stop there. Flavored chips are often coated with monosodium glutamate and artificial enhancers that make you crave more, creating a cycle of addiction while quietly destroying your kidneys. Hidden inside is another villain, phosphorus additives. Unlike natural phosphorus in whole foods, these chemical versions are absorbed almost fully. One serving can sneak in 50 to 150 milligrams of phosphorus. For someone with kidney disease, that's a fast track to brittle bones, unbearable itching, and blood vessels that turn to stone through calcification. And then comes potassium up to 500 milligrams per serving in certain flavored varieties. That's enough to trigger irregular heartbeats, muscle weakness, even sudden cardiac arrest when combined with common medications like ACE inhibitors. And let's not forget the fats. 15 to 20 grams per bag. Much of it's saturated. They clog arteries, raise cholesterol, and suffocate circulation to already stressed kidneys. On top of that, chips cooked at high heat form acrylamide, a toxin linked with DNA damage and oxidative stress, exactly the kind of insult fragile kidneys can't defend against. So what starts as just a handful turns into relentless thirst, restless sleep, bone pain, and a slow, silent march toward dialysis. Chips are not harmless. They're a loaded weapon aimed directly at your kidneys. But chips aren't the only danger, because the next snack, covered in cheese dust and marketed as fun and crunchy, carries an even more toxic mix of sodium, phosphorus, and fat, and most people eat it without a second thought. Cheese nachos or cheese crackers, crunchy, salty, and for many, the ultimate midnight comfort. But inside, every bite hides a cocktail of dangers that kidney patients almost never see coming. Let me tell you about Janet, a 59-year-old grandmother who loved her nachos topped with extra cheese while watching late-night TV. She thought it was harmless, just a small pleasure before bed. Within months, her blood pressure shot up, her ankles swelled painfully, and her lab results showed phosphorus climbing out of control. She couldn't believe that her little snack had been quietly wrecking her kidneys. Here's the truth. A single pack of cheese crackers or a plate of nachos can carry 450 to 600 milligrams of sodium, sometimes even more. For a kidney that's already struggling, that's like pouring gasoline on a fire. The sodium forces water to stay trapped in the body, swelling the ankles, hands, and face, while scarring fragile kidney filters with every blood pressure spike. And it gets worse. That artificial cheese powder. It isn't just dairy, it's loaded with preservative salts and sodium compounds that multiply the sodium load beyond what your kidneys can handle. Now look at phosphorus. Just one serving of cheese snacks can contain 200 to 300 milligrams of phosphorus additives, absorbed almost fully into the bloodstream. That's the kind that pulls calcium straight out of your bones, leaving them weak and hollow, while silently building rock-hard deposits inside your arteries. The result is vascular calcification, a deadly hardening of blood vessels that can trigger sudden heart failure. And let's not ignore the potassium. Hidden in flavor powders and tomato seasonings, a single serving may carry 300 to 450 milligrams. For healthy kidneys, that's fine. But for weak ones, it pushes potassium levels into the danger zone, risking irregular heartbeats or worse, cardiac arrest. On top of all that, these snacks are drenched in unhealthy fats 8 to 12 grams per handful, including saturated and sometimes even trans fats. They raise cholesterol, stiffen arteries, and fuel inflammation, while acrylamides form during frying attack fragile kidney cells with oxidative stress. So that innocent cheese cracker or nacho plate isn't just a snack. It's a toxic mix that traps fluid, strips bones, scars kidneys, and suffocates the heart. And if you've ever wondered why your sleep is restless, your skin itches, or your bones ache, this habit may be the reason, but even this isn't the worst offender, because the next snack on the list looks sweet and innocent, something parents even give their kids, but for kidney patients. It's a silent killer hiding behind sugar and cocoa, chocolate bars or chocolate milk soft, sweet, and comforting. The kind of treat many people reach for when they want to relax before bed. But for kidneys already under stress, chocolate is no harmless pleasure. It's a hidden threat that works quietly, night after night. I remember Paul, a 65-year-old retired firefighter. He had the habit of drinking a glass of chocolate milk every evening, saying it helped him fall asleep. But over time, his lab work told a darker story: creatinine climbing, potassium levels unstable, and his doctor warning that dialysis might be closer than he thought. The science shows why. Just one serving of chocolate can deliver 200 to 250 milligrams of phosphorus. For a healthy body, that's manageable. But for damaged kidneys, it's absorbed almost completely, leading to brittle bones, itchy skin, and calcium stripped from the skeleton to clog blood vessels instead. Add to that the potassium, 250 to 400 milligrams in a single cup of chocolate milk. Too much potassium in weakened kidneys can trigger muscle weakness, chest tightness, or even sudden cardiac arrest, sometimes with no warning at all. Then comes the sugar. A standard bar of milk chocolate carries 20 to 25 grams. A cup of chocolate milk, about 24 grams. That flood of sugar fuels inflammation, weight gain, and insulin resistance, all of which accelerate kidney decline. And while dark chocolate is often marketed as healthier, it holds an even higher load of oxalates, which can form kidney stones and add yet another burden to failing kidneys. To make matters worse, chocolate brings 8 to 12 grams of saturated fat per bar, raising cholesterol, thickening blood, and feeding heart disease, the deadly companion of kidney failure. Even the small dose of caffeine in chocolate can disrupt sleep, spike blood pressure, and act as a diuretic, tipping fragile fluid balance into chaos. So that late-night bar or glass of chocolate milk isn't harmless comfort. It's a slow-moving storm of phosphorus, potassium, sugar, fat, and caffeine, all working together to push your kidneys closer to failure. And here's the sobering truth: while chocolate feels sweet in the moment, its damage lingers for hours, hidden in the bloodstream. But knowledge is power, and now you've seen the 3 snacks that protect and the 3 that destroy. The question is, what will you choose tonight? Stay with me for the closing words, because the decision you make before bed could decide whether your kidneys heal in silence or collapse under the weight of one more wrong choice. Your kidneys never sleep, and every small choice you make before bedtime shapes their future. The good news is, you have the power to protect them. Simple swaps like rice cakes instead of chips, blueberries instead of sugary desserts, or apple slices instead of nachos can make a real difference over time. I want you to remember, protecting your kidneys isn't about perfection. It's about consistency, and you're not alone on this journey. If you found this video helpful, save it so you can revisit these tips whenever you need them. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel, because I'll be bringing you the latest medical insights and practical advice to help you take care of your kidneys and your overall health. Stay encouraged. Even if your kidneys feel fragile today, there is always hope. Every wise choice you make adds up to more energy, better sleep, and more time with the people you love. Your journey to stronger kidneys starts with tonight's snack, and I believe you can do it.